let's not forget all the things that I discovered on here with the help of other channels who I tend to disagree with more and more lately, but you know, mud fossils being one of them. And, you know, he found the dragon up here in Morocco, and I thoroughly went through it and found this, which he never showed you. Okay. And I've demonstrated how everything got spliced apart and strategically placed. Alright. That's the body of the dragon. These are its organs. That is like the top of its back, its hide. Alright. You know, there's its organs. Perfectly cross-sected out. Sinew and tissue and all the other fun stuff. You know, notice these shapes. Like, if you cut angled tubes in half. You know, the best I can describe these shapes as, these crevices and gaps and valleys and protrusions, are like a cross-section of a toilet. When you cut your toilet in half, you got that rounding cut in half tube shape. It's the same thing. Our bodies are made out of tubes, you know, our bones and arms and legs and everything's essentially a tube. You cut that in half, it's a cup. Alright? So then I also discovered, you know, I didn't discover the fish, but I discovered that the fish is upside down, and you're supposed to look at it like this. This is the eye socket, and here's the flap of skin that is connected to the actual eye of the Sahara. You're looking at the back side of it. I've shown ground views of this, illustrating the same veins that you're seeing. Yes, this is an eye. Wise Up says, it looks like bubbles in the mud. Bubbles in the mud. You get the fuck right out of here, dude. Fuck right out of here. Alright? How y'all missed that? I've been looking at Google Earth hard for a couple months, alright? You know, one thing clicked and it led from one thing to another to another to another. Alright, I also discovered, this is what started it all. I was looking around down here, Age of Disclosure was showing Titans down in this stuff, which I'm going to do a video on. Is Age of Disclosure's right, but there's more to it than that. Alright. You know, so this is what started it all. This is what got me looking really hard. The skull, which is actually the skull of the dragon in the north, cross-sected out. You know, I recently discovered this Pakal character right here. Alright, amongst a plethora of other things. So, I also discovered this serpent thing right here between Antarctica and South America. I discovered all of this. This is where life fractaled off on the coast. I used to think it was a line of dead titans, but now I think this is just a failed attempt at life being generated from the land masses, which was an organic mass. You know, I discovered that character. This whole swath is dead titans essentially, but it's where life fractaled off. I've demonstrated that in other videos. I'll get back into it. You know, we got this turtle guy, lobster turtle character. You know, there's his shell. He's got like a lobster tail. But this is just a failed attempt at life, whereas life begets life and everything's one and the same. I don't even want to look in there because I know I'm just going to see more stuff that I've missed. So, you know, then that's what led me to this, the skull of the South American serpent. And these serpents are Rahu and Ketu, alright? You know, and then that led me to finding this, and that head. Alright, it took a while. for me to figure out that this head, you can see here's the head, eye, and then here's the neck that got stretched out, cross-sected, pulled and unfolded. So the head should have been sitting right about here. And this is like the brain and nerve cluster where it connected to the base of the spine. These are all its organs. And then I noticed all this damage to it with the skin ripped off, kind of all going in one direction. Well, what's over here? What's the one thing that could stand a chance against a serpent that big? Well, a phoenix. Here's the beak. Here's the whole beak, one wing folded like inward, the other wing goes out here. There's imprints of the feathers in the land, body, legs, talons. Right, what the heck? The talons are holding on. He's like on his back, but he was like upright and he fell back and whatever processes happened. And he still got a chunk of the serpent in his talons. Alright. Roughly a 400-kilometer bird, phoenix. Here's the top of the snout that took damage from that bird right there. It's probably what he's got in his talons. Alright, so then I also discovered that all this fits into here in the Grand Canyon. And here's an imprint of the bird where the bird was during the attack. Okay. Same size. Everything lines up. The colors line up. The orange is feathers. Alright, I know other channels have gone nuts looking at this, trying to figure out what's going on in the Grand Canyon here. Well, that's all feathers. That's all imprints of massive feathers. Feathers are strong, or equivalent to scales, or fingernails, keratin, whatever. Straight protein. Protective outer layer. Alright, so all the land masses were stacked up at one point. I also, this is one of the first things after noticing the dragon skull in South Africa and the serpent in South America. I found this, which really had made me adjust my whole thought process here and led me to where I'm at now with all this crazy shit I'm talking about. But I don't care. I know I'm 100% right. I'm calling out everyone, y'all. This needs to get out. Alright. That eye. And a ton of other stuff that I discovered. So, help me get this out. Like, share. And just bear with me.